In addition to that, when I was 13, junior high, I lost my favorite sister. I say my favorite sister because she was 26 years old. I was 13, and I could tell her anything, anything at all. When you've got six sisters and two brothers, you kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit, and I was one of the middle ones. So sometimes it didn't matter what I did, but I did learn when my older brothers and sisters were getting spankings, what I shouldn't be doing. And again, when you get lost in the shuffle, when you get to the dinner table, you better grab root and growl or you weren't getting anything. So it was kind of nice, again, to be part of the big family, but I could make mistakes and sometimes nobody saw it. It was nice also to learn all of the skills. I consider it a blessing to grow up on a farm, because in addition to learning how to garden, learning how to fix fence, learning how to get on a horse without a saddle when you're 3 years old, you wait till they put their head down. When they start eating, you swing your leg over their neck, hang onto the mane, and when they pick their head up, you're on their back. So, there are an awful lot of ingenious things that I learned just growing up on a farm and suffering the lumps and bumps of falling out of trees and falling off ladders and getting hurt. I have lots of scars, but I felt like I learned how to bounce a little higher every time I fell. And when you're ignored, when you cry, you just quit crying. So eventually you learn to ignore pain. It's just part of it. And I'm thankful for that. Sometimes we can feel too sorry for ourselves. Learning how to pluck chickens was not a good thing. I didn't eat chickens for 3 years after I plucked my first chicken. The smell of chicken cooking still doesn't trip my trigger. I'm not real crazy about it. But God's been very patient with me. He's given me time to appreciate also different kinds of foods. There's not a food I don't like. And as I listen to young people talk and how they say, I don't like this and I don't like that, we know they've never ever been truly hungry. I appreciate the fact that I've never, ever really gone hungry. I liked the fact that I had to work to get to college. I had 3 jobs my sophomore summer. I had 4 jobs my junior summer. I had 5 jobs my senior summer, and I collected as much money as I could so I could go to college. I thought it was a big deal when I bought my first 10-speed and paid cash. I was excited. My 10-speed Schwinn got me 9 miles to work. It was only when the first bumblebee hit me right there that I realized I was going to need more than just a bicycle going 35 miles an hour downhill. So I got myself a pair of sunglasses and I paid $8, and I thought that was a lot. I'm thankful for knowing the value of money. In addition, we had big families, so we had lots of weddings, we had lots of baptisms, and we had lots and lots and lots of arguments. Sisters and brothers have fights with mustard and ketchup bottles, with dough, when the first cook out of home ec class is learning how to make bread dough. Mother and Dad worked at believe it or not, the state hospital 40 miles north. So they weren't always home. My sister babysat for us. My oldest sister babysat for us. And when you've got siblings, that many siblings that are all 1.5 to 2 years apart, there's going to be some conflict. There was one room in the house with a lock on the door, the bathroom. I'm very thankful for the lock on that door. It saved me a lot of times. At 13, when my sister was killed and her 2 children with her in the car accident, I didn't think I'd ever get over it. I swore I would never love anyone ever that much again. It still bothers me, and it's been over 40 years, but it made me stronger. It made me much stronger, and I grew up pretty quickly because I started figuring out that tears meant something. I don't remember crying much before that, unless it was when the kids wouldn't let me keep up with them, and I developed a real knack for running when I was trying to keep up to my older brothers and sisters, and that kind of helped me develop into a bit of an athlete. So winning the conference meets, and that was before state was ever around for girls. The boys were. My brother went to state every year in high school and still has 3 of the state track records. My littlest sister went to state because they had state for girls then. But we won the conference in basketball, we won field hockey, we won volleyball, and we did well in track. And so I'm thankful that my sisters and brothers didn't always want me around because it made me work harder. When I was a senior in high school, I buried myself in activities after the death of my sister because of my grief. And I was in everything I could possibly be in, with the exception of chorus and band. I can't sing and I can't play an instrument, and I regret that. My children do very well, but I don't know diddly squat about music, and I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I am weak in those areas, but I enjoyed every part of high school, and I really encourage you young people to take as much of an advantage of all those opportunities as you can. Travel when you can. When somebody invites you to go somewhere, as long as your mom and dad know it, go. You know, take advantage of those opportunities, because this time that we have on earth, God has given us. Christ died for us so that we can have these moments and make the most of them. We have a gift, just being alive, being able to get up in the morning. I know you young kids back there, doggone it, you think teachers are tough. What do you suppose the devil's like? When you're an adult and your feet hit the floor, you get up in the morning and your feet hit the floor, we want the devil to say, doggone it, he's out of bed again, right? You're going to be there. I consider it to be a blessing to be motivated. My father's very Scotch, and my father would not let us kids not do something. We didn't watch 3 hours of television a week. We rarely watched television. There were always chores to do. There was always work to be done. We were building the church, rebuilding the church. It took us a few years, stripping donated pews and refinishing those, staining walls, painting. We did the landscaping. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had to build that church, because when we put that crowning glory, that steeple on top, it made us truly know that this was a building God wanted to be there. And it was our little church, but we knew it was just a building. We knew after that church burned down that this building could be gone too, but our family, our church family that was working there together, was forever. And that we all had the same ambition, that nothing was going to get us down. When I made up my mind to go to college, and I saved all that money, I think I'm very thankful for being blessed with the opportunity to have those jobs. I cleaned summer cabins, I picked cherries, I picked strawberries, I sold sunshine greeting cards, I sold Avon products, and most importantly, probably most importantly, I waitressed as many hours as I possibly could. Not a lot of time for social life, but my boyfriend would stop in and see me every once in a while and say, hey, you got time to go to the drive-in tonight? What was on? I don't even remember. I said, no, I got to work. I'm shaking cherries until midnight. Okay. So we saw each other, but our senior year, I planned to go become a legal secretary at Davenport College of Business in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And he decided, he thought it'd be nice to get me a diamond for Christmas. And I just kind of held my breath. And I said, oh, you're not really seriously thinking about getting married after high school. And that's all he needed to hear. He was done. He said, yeah. 6 weeks later, because he really didn't want to wait, and I was waiting,